Hello and welcome to Little Imps, hosted by the sunniest little imp of them all. It's me, Mark Wilkinson. Acting, that's the key reason 4 performers have joined me today. They're here to don a variety of guises in a range of scenarios, then fight their way out of them using only their wits and mad improv skills. The word act comes from the Latin word actum, meaning something done or to do. Coincidentally, when asked why I took this gig, I also reply, something to do. An act can also refer to the divisions of a play or other type of story. Tonight's first team captain may behave like an old man entering the final act of his life, but he assures me he intends to come back for an encore. It's the Devon Cream Tea of Twee, Dan Luxton!
Hello!
And on Dan's team tonight, a guest who's a hard act to follow, mainly because he keeps turning round and catching me. Quoting words from the darkest, least accessed corners of the internet, how apt then that he's now consigned to appearing in that self-same place. It's Jonathan Hoy!
Salutations.
To clean up your act normally means to improve one's behaviour, except in the case of our second team captain, who simply couldn't contain his excitement and now needs a mop. It's the faintly adhesive Brendan Way.
Hello!
Being caught in the act usually suggests wrongdoing, but our guest on Brendan's team this week is such a busy and versatile actor, it's impossible to catch him not performing. Our spies tell us he even snores theatrically. It's Sam Pashby.
Hey!
We kick off with a round called A Word Paints 1,000 Pictures. This is the chance for our team captains, Brendan and Dan, to mark their territory by telling us why they should be crowned today's winners. However, to give them a hand, their guests will be providing them with a one-word prompt that summarises why they should emerge victorious. I'll then decide which team has made the best case. Not that team will have won. The premise of this round is such a whopping great lie that a career politician might stumble. We'll start with Brendan and Sam. Sam, what is your one-word prompt for Brendan?
Escalator.
Escalator. Yeah, good one.
Elaborate, please, Brendan.
We're on the rise. We'll give you a lift.
Hello. I don't want any of that in my show, thank you very much. None of your smutty innuendos.
Hey Brendan, come on, keep it clean.
We'll let you go on the glass elevator from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's an elevator, not an escalator.
Good point.
All right. I will install an escalator in your house.
That's actually quite, yeah, no, Maisie would love that. Okay, right. Well, obviously, the same now to Dan and John.
Nature.
Nature. Well, my pitch to you today will take the form of a 3-point plan. First, just as Brendan will install an escalator in your house if he wins, if I win, I will install nature in your house. I will grow a rainforest personally in your living room. My second point is the fact that my team represents a back-to-nature approach. If we were left out in the wild, I think I can assure you that myself and Jonathan would survive far greater than Sam and Brendan would. We would hunt that wild boar and we would kill it and skin it and eat its flesh while they were still rustling around for grubs and roots and berries in the mud. My third and final point is that it is only natural for my team to win. It is ingrained into the very fabric of the universe that we should be crowned victorious, and that is why we should win today.
Well, I've heard both arguments. Frankly, I think that an escalator in the house might increase the resale value in a positive way, whereas installing a rainforest in the house...
Endangered species in rainforest, you could open it up to...
Exactly.
Yeah,
You could make a lot of money from paying guests.
As a tourist spot, it might be attractive.
There we go.
As a place to live, it could be slightly frustrating. I'm afraid that I'm giving this one to Brendan.
Hey!
I never win this round.
Isn't life unfair?
Oh, yes
You
it
keep
is.
trying to put endangered animals in people's homes. It's not what people want.
Going
There's
back
a
to
reason
nature sounds
zoos
wrong.
exist.
Sam, would you like a panda in your home?
Yeah, I would, I gotta be honest.
Point proven.
We shimmy on to a game called On the Other Hand. Here our panellists will, 2 at a time, improvise a scene set in an important event. However, one of the pair must be as positive and optimistic as possible, while the other must be the opposite. John and Sam, you're our first set of bipolar bears. You are guests at the wedding of one of your best friends. John, you are our optimist. Sam, you are our pessimist. Take it away.
Well, he's got to spend the rest of his life with someone he really loves.
How terrible.
Not necessarily. I mean, she'll make breakfast for him in the mornings, and they'll cuddle at night, and they'll remember this special day in 20 years' time. They'll get a letter from the Queen, and they might be knighted.
He could be bowling. That would be better.
Bowling with his wife.
How do you tell her to go away? You can't say, just go, leave me alone for a second, you know? She's with him now, bonded, attached to him by the finger.
Well, they will give each other their personal space. You know, there's an understanding of the greatest connection, like an unspoken language between them that they can use with just their eyes, and they can communicate all these feelings. And it's like one of the purposes of life to be married and procreate and bring a beautiful child into this.
What if they have kids though? Have you seen children? Have you seen a child? Is that a nice thing? Do you like children? What is nice about a child? They're annoying. They're small. Exactly. They're not furry like animals. You know, you can't sit it on your lap and just stroke it. It'll say something, and then you tell it to shut up, and it won't.
But they have such a naive, lovely view of life, and you can educate them
wonderful.
with everything.
Yeah,
you know,
education.
And you can mold them after yourself.
Oh, mold. I love mold.
Well, you can grow them, not grow like mold, but like bring them up and raise them and
like
nurture
a plant.
them.
You could get a plant. It doesn't talk back.
But talking back is good
Well.
because you can see the brain develop, and it comes from you. And they could grow up to be something. They could grow up to cure cancer, or be like a professional sports player, or
And then they'll have children. More annoying, little, small, talkative. Ice cream. Oh, it's horrible.
But then you can share ice cream with your child, and you can see the brightness and happiness that it gives them.
Is there any more cake? I thought there'd be cake at this wedding. I haven't seen a cake. I want some cake.
I think they've gone for alternative. I think the contemporary dance version of a cake is actually quite an interesting thing in the wedding. I think it's...
This church smells like cancer.
I like the smell of medicine and hospitals. It makes me feel safe because it makes me feel like people around me will be there to heal me. If I fall over, boom, CPR.
Or they could just let you die.
Then I might even go to heaven, and that wouldn't be too bad.
Hooray.
I wouldn't-
Heaven. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Eternal bliss.
Yeah,
Never-ending bliss.
That
How
is...
mundane.
Well, bliss wouldn't be mundane because it would know that you're mundane and then become something else.
Or if you want to leave, right, St. Peter, I've had enough. Can I just pop out for a sec? He's like, no, it's eternity.
He would make a place which looks like it's outside for you.
How do you know? Have you been?
No. You don't have to go because that's the point of faith. You believe even though you haven't gone. That's the beauty of it. Ooh, little sausages wrapped in hot dogs.
When does this finish? When is this wedding over? When can I go home?
And on that note, we'll stop it there. I can't differentiate. That one's a draw. I'm sorry,
Yay.
There is no Brendan and Dan. It's the morning after a general election. The Conservative candidate has won. Dan, as the poster boy for the Young Conservatives, you are elated.
Yeah.
Brendan, as the depressed Labour campaigner, you are sad.
Dan is happy in this round?
5 more years.
I say this is fantastic,
5
isn't
more
it?
years.
What are you looking so miserable for?
I lost. You guys are in power. It's going to be terrible.
But think of it as a new future for the country.
It's going to be the same old party doing the same old thing. We are doomed.
I think you'll find it is not the same old party. We have a very young front bench.
Fine, you've got a young, shiny packaging on an old turd.
Yes. Well, I have seen many old turds in my time that were polished and put in museums, and they looked fantastic. I love nothing more than to go into a museum of a weekend and look at the fossilised turds.
You guys deserve to be in a museum. Your ideas are outdated.
And what about yours? More rights for the poor? If anything is an outdated idea, I think you'll find that is.
Poor make up most of the constituents.
They're the useless part of the constituents. What do they do? If you put one of them in an investment bank, then they wouldn't have a clue what to do. They'd be running around like headless chickens going, oh look, there's lots of money here, boy Jiminy. Oh look, I think I'll take some of this money for my own, because they're greedy, money-grabbing little criminals, the lot of them. And it is fantastic that they will be trodden underfoot in the next healthy half-decade ahead of us.
At least they spend their money instead of squirreling it away in the Channel Islands, you tax-dodging
Have you ever been to the
bastards.
Channel Islands? They are a fantastic place, and they deserve to have
Of course,
every
I can't
penny
afford
of
the
our...
Channel Islands.
You can't afford the Channel Islands.
No, you lot probably bought them.
We have spent many years and many pounds building them up as a fantastic tourist spot.
For all your money to go on holiday.
Not our money going on holiday, our mistresses. Guernsey is a fantastic place to take the other woman away for a weekend, have a bit of rumpy-pumpy without the missus knowing. Out of my 5 best weekends of the last 10 years, 3 of them were spent in Guernsey, and 2 of them were quite messy.
Right. Well, I don't have another woman. I'm married to the same woman. I've
Really?
been married to the same woman for about 40 years. What?
Only one woman?
Yes.
How do you manage?
You haven't done it in
I
years.
just... Well, that's your problem. If you had voted Conservative, we pledge to help all our supporters get their end away. That was on our manifesto.
I don't want to get my end away. Now I'm out of power, I've got to sleep with my wife again. That's horrendous.
Next thing, you'll be wanting the gays to get married, and they'll be wanting to have sex with each other. Listen here, gays having sex with each other is not okay if they're married. It's only okay if it's in a video on my laptop. And that is the honest truth. Come on, let's go down the pub. I'll buy you a merry little sherry to celebrate your defeat. Oh, sorry, to commiserate your defeat. No need to look so down, old chap.
I hate you.
It's all right. I mean, we're in coalition with the Lib Dems, and they're basically the same. So it's still like you're in power.
All of us are the same. There is no difference.
All politicians are the same, and that's why you shouldn't feel bad that you're not in power. We are just like one another, only we wear different colour ties.
I have
See,
to, I have to sell my
Do you
tower.
have any idea how many colourblind people there are living in this country? And to them, it doesn't matter who's in power. Just think of them. Think of them.
It does, and it makes me want to kill myself.
Don't kill yourself, old chap. There's a new suicide tax that we've put up, and I'd hate for you to have to pay it. Unless, of course, it goes directly to me.
And I think we'll end it there, I'm afraid.
What, you're going to kill me?
Yes, I am. I'm afraid before Brendan does harm to himself, it's time to end the round. Dan wins that one. He's far too good at playing the young conservative. Right. Our next round, known as Period Piece, requires each team to act out a simple scene, which I will then complicate by calling out different eras of history. The performers will then have to change the scene to reflect the change of time period. First up are Dan and John. Dan, you're going to approach John and attempt to lure him back to your house, possibly by asking if he'd like to see your puppies.
Afternoon. I can't help but notice that the weather isn't particularly good today, so I was just wondering if you might want a bit of shelter. I can't help but notice you don't have an umbrella or a raincoat or hair, and I was worried about that rain falling on your big bald head.
Yeah, thanks for noticing that. It's actually a swimming cap because it's raining and I didn't want to get my hair wet.
Right,
It's a very nude-coloured swimming hat. I think it's
The Wild West.
Oh, howdy, partner. I see you got them, what you call them, canines?
Oh, yeah, man. My canines are... I'm doing an accent like you wanted me to.
It's just like crawling in someone else's nightmare.
Well, thank you, partner, for noticing my fine little puppies here. If you'd like to take a closer look at them, then I have a microscope back in my house. It's a newfangled invention from over the pond from Britain, where my parents came from. That's why you can detect a hint of a British accent underneath my fine American tones. And so if you wanted to take a closer look at the fleas on my puppies, or the many colours of hair that they grow on their heads, then you can peer through that microscope.
The time of Jesus.
Because these fleas are doing a most fantastic thing. The fleas themselves are reaching up to heaven, and they are worshipping the one true Lord.
Would I need to crucify the fleas and then the dogs, or just the dogs? Would they count as the fleas? Now,
For does not the Lord say in the scriptures, he who crucifies the puppy also crucifies the many creatures that live on that puppy. In this parable, the puppy represents Rome, and the fleas represent the many citizens of Rome. And God will send down a fire at the end of time and destroy all of Rome's puppies.
But there is no Jesus Christ. Judaism, that's the real religion here. That's what we need to adhere by.
The 1960s.
Dude, is your puppy wearing a suit? Or am I been smoking too many things?
My puppy is indeed wearing a suit.
That is rad. That
A
is
swimsuit
far out.
to go with its swimming cap.
Man, that's gonna catch on. In
Yeah.
40 years' time, when people look back at the 60s, they're gonna be like, we should do that again.
There's only one way that people are going to get their hands on swimsuits for dogs in 40 years' time.
Woodstock.
And that's on a thing that I've invented called the internet. And I think you should really see it. So if you want to come back to my house, I will show you the internet and the microscope and Jesus and all the other things I keep in my
Isn't
attic.
the internet that thing the military use to do military stuff like guns and missiles?
No, dude. The government is all about dispensing flowers and
Guns
sugar
that fire flowers.
to the world.
Missiles that explode love.
Yeah.
Do you want to see my missile that explodes love?
I would love to.
Bring your puppies too.
Come on, Fido. Come on, Rover. We're going to see a missile that explodes love.
Stop. Thank you very much.
What just happened?
Right. Next up aboard our stolen DeLorean with the fake number plates are Brendan and Sam. Sam, you have just interrupted burglar Brendan breaking into your house.
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing?
Didn't realise someone.
That's my frying pan you've got there.
Oh, I was hungry.
I need
was
that.
hungry.
I really do need that. You're not planning on taking that out, are you?
But it's 3 a.m. What do you need it for?
Well, I need to cook some eggs, eh?
Do ya?
Midnight snack at 3 a.m.
Native Americans.
Midnight snack.
I'ma shoot you. I'ma take your land. Yeah? You one of them native boys? Yeah? You take my stuff. I'ma place this gun right between your head. Yeah? What do you want, eh?
Your frying pan.
The smoke signals bring you here? Eh? With
The
my-
Napoleonic Wars.
You cannot take the frying pan. It was my frying pan. I made it in France. And
It's not. No. Put that down.
No, it is mine. Why would I put
Yeah,
it down?
stop it, okay? And give me back my stuff, okay? I want you to get out my house. S'il vous plaît.
I thought this was my house. That's why it was the frying pan. I thought it was my house.
This is my house.
I was so confused.
Now, get out.
It's the war. I'm confused.
Everybody is confused.
Then how do you know?
I'm very confused.
World War II.
So you have the frying pan in this house, but now it is my house and my frying pan because we have taken it for Germany.
pan, you Jerry! Now get out! Instantly!
No, I have crashed my plane here.
Yes,
I don't know what accent is the Queen.
I've shot many Jerrys
I'm
down
a
in my...
master of disguise.
You are definitely not. Your disguise is terrible. Now get out of my house now.
What if I go back to the German accent? Will that change things?
You can try. It'll just make me hate you more.
What if I put on the British accent?
Please, I'm gonna kill you in about 4 seconds.
I do not want to be killed.
Oh, you're American. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Oh, I was so
am.
confused. You see, because I
Yes,
thought...
excellent. Comrade or ally or whatever we call it.
Yes,
ally.
allies. That's it. You got that right. Allies, not comrades. No, that's
Yes,
not what we call
No,
it.
that's
That would be confusing.
That's the Ruskies.
So why is my window broken? Why is there blood on the floor? Where's my wife? Did you save her from? I'm sure there was a German in here.
Yes, I saved her from the Jerry.
Oh,
The Jeremy,
excellent. Well, then sit down. You've got the frying pan there. Yeah,
Yes,
cook some eggs.
let's make some
I was
eggs.
just going to make some.
Breakfast, ally.
Because what else would I be doing in the time of war than sitting in my house making eggs?
I can't think of anything better to do.
Yeah. No. What does that smell? It smells like corpses and aeroplane fuel.
I cook my meat
What is
in the
that?
fuel.
What is this? Is there a plane in my living room?
I brought it as a gift.
Thank you.
You're
so
welcome,
kind.
comrade, ally.
I'll be
Friend.
sure to. Maud! Maud! Come see this. The Allies brought a plane. Maud? She's probably sleeping.
Yes,
3 in
I
the
would go
morning.
with that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, I think the very fact that Dan attempted an accent is world first.
Points for effort.
Points for effort. Absolutely. Next up, it's the agony booth, where our teams are going to be talking about what keeps them up at night, and not in a fun way. One team is going to dictate a letter to the Agony Aunt column of a lifestyle magazine, before their opponents give the columnist's reply. However, the 2 team members will be narrating their letter by alternating 1 sentence at a time. Brendan and Sam, you're up first.
Dear agony aunt,
Every time I sleep, I melt.
it makes an awful mess of the sheets,
I spend all morning picking bits of my face from the pillow.
which is very hard if I haven't started with the eyes.
And with buttery fingers that have melted the night before.
It's especially confusing if I want butter for breakfast. I've eaten my thumbs.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Which it's not, it's my thumbs.
It's a very painful experience.
Please help. Yours sincerely.
Butterfinger.
Dear Butterfingers,
I have carefully read and been very intrigued by your problem.
it's always such a predicament when this happens to someone, isn't it?
Don't fret, you're not the only one.
In fact, there is a support group set up for people who melt in the night.
Yes, go to www.buttermilkpancakes.com.
You can email them at any time of the day or night, because that's how emails work.
And they have special decoders for sloppy melted finger typing.
And recipes to leave in your will to your family.
And they recommend not going into saunas and lying on people.
That's good advice generally.
Until you can find a more permanent solution, I would recommend sleeping in the fridge.
Or, if you're more for the natural approach, a giant porcelain tub, which you can fit on yourself.
I would suggest not wearing skinny jeans, as that can cause oozing.
But there are some pros to this. If you're living with your flatmates and they run out of butter, they'll run to you, asking for favours, saying, "Can I borrow a finger?"
It is wise not to give them a finger if they ask for it, because that can lead to bigger things.
One problem you might be concerned about is activities in the bedroom. You must be successful in this department. You must avoid things from heating up.
I would recommend thinking of David Cameron and Nick Clegg doing it. This will stop things heating up and has been scientifically known to permanently stop people from blushing ever again.
Now, for the sleeping part.
It is important to note that you should never sleep on the top bunk of a bunk bed.
And if ever staying in a hotel, notify reception before, because they may find puddles of sticky goo a bit suspicious.
All hotels of 3 stars and upwards have special staff members who are trained in this affliction.
They are very well trained and professional in this manner.
I hope this fascinatingly long letter has answered any queries you may have. Good luck. Yours sincerely,
Your agony aunt, Agonius Artonatus.
Beautifully done. Beautifully. I feel you covered the topic rather exhaustively there.
Do we get to respond to the letter? Dear Agony Aunt, I think it's just best if I end myself now.
Okay, but now, Dan and John, time to come up with an ailment.
Dear Aunt Alberta.
Something that has been keeping me up at night.
I make noises from my crotch.
And has caused severe problems to my love life.
Whenever I start getting excited, a jingle of anything could happen.
Only last night, I was getting to it with the missus when suddenly the Baby Bell jingle played.
Ba 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 baby bell.
It seemed to be emanating from my anus.
As you can tell, this did ruin the moment a little.
My wife doesn't even like cheese.
Let alone my anus.
She says the texture is disgusting. And it smells terrible.
You can imagine on a beach with scantily clad women, and then out of nowhere, Booda-boo-boo, booda-boo-boo, booda-boo-boo-boo.
Everyone immediately reaches for their mobile phones, which are kept in some very interesting places, and are most disappointed to find out that it is not them who is ringing.
But my penis.
Nobody likes that.
I sincerely hope there is some way that you can console me in this difficult and distracting problem.
Yours sincerely, Michael Heseltine.
Dear Michael,
After laughing long and hard at your letter you sent us, we have considered the following.
if nobody likes your anus and penis, I would suggest cutting them off.
Yes, it's very simple. All of us here at Agony Aunt Central have done the very same. It is a painful process, but simply incising the penis and the anus area and removing them from the body is in fact a very simple procedure, which can be done at any local dentist's.
As for the music, this is point 2, I would recommend turning up the speakers with some death metal.
Yes, we are very into Norwegian black metal and any music that resorts to cannibalism, interfetal sexual intercourse, or anything considering the anus and penis area, so please, enjoy some of this music.
It will stop you thinking about cheese.
The cheese issue is the very same. I despise the texture. I think it'd be very wise if the Baby Bell tune starts to play again and you have not incised your penis, that you simply shout over it.
Obscenities, curse the makers of that fine, soft, chewy cheese for kids.
If you do not wish to go through with the procedure in cutting off your bits, then I can only suggest buying your wife or sexual partner earmuffs.
Hope this helps. And Agatha.
Have a spiffing day.
It's very difficult to award points here. Do you know, I'm giving this to Dan. Let's waltz on over to a round called Bob a Job. This game is all about those failed job interviews, the ones where for some inexplicable reason you just failed to impress the interviewer and get the gig. However, the inexplicable reason here is that I am inexplicably going to give our hopefuls, Sam and John, a quirk which they must abide by throughout the interview. Sam, you're up first. Your catch is that every question your interviewer Dan asks, your answer must rhyme with it. Good luck, we're all rooting for you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pashby. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Mr. Luxton. I did have to say
You did have to say what?
that my face is sore from this horrible spot.
Oh dear, that does look nasty. How did you do it?
I was on the toilet taking a very intense shit.
I don't think we need to go into details here.
I'd spent the night before drinking a lot of discount beer.
I see. Mr. Pashby, how did you hear about this job?
I heard about it from my mate, Sideshow Bob.
And what makes you think that you are qualified for the tasks?
Well, look at me. Who else walks around town with so many masks?
That's true. You do seem to have the physique that will make an excellent clown.
Yes, that's why I came in after seeing your advert in town.
How do you think you'll feel working with the beasts?
I think for me it would be almost like an exquisite feast.
That's quite worrying. Are you suggesting that you might eat them?
From time to time, maybe, yes. Have you ever tried to eat them?
I don't feel that that would be a professional thing to do.
No, very much not. I'm sorry for ever asking that of you.
Can you name a time when you have encountered criticism and heckling?
Yes, I once tried to rescue an old lady from a terrible bee sting.
Did the old lady live or die?
She died, which is why I got so abused and had to hide.
It's like Dr. Zeus is back from the grave.
Dyslexic Dr. Seuss.
Do you think that you would work well as part of a team?
I think I would be the metaphorical cookies and cream.
Some of the other clowns are very strong-minded. How would you deal with arguments from your peers?
I can deal with the heckles and sneers.
What about if a customer wants a refund?
I would tell him to piss off and give him the refund.
That seems a very sensible course of action.
Yes, well, I am from a very sensible faction of clowns.
Can you tell me who styles your hair?
Well, George, he's just sitting right over there.
And who provides you with your fine red nose?
The same person that gave me these fine clothes.
I must say I'm impressed with your enormous bow tie.
Well, you know, enormous. I'm that kind of guy.
And that is why I will give you this job.
Thank you very much. I must go tell Bob.
Very well done to you both.
Next job interview I ever do, I'm going to try and do that.
Amazing. Brendan and John, are you ready?
Yeah.
Now, John, your quirk, each answer must start with the consecutive letter of the alphabet beginning with A.
What comes after hate?
Hi.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm set now.
You ready? I want to do this quite quickly.
Okay.
Who are you?
Aardvark.
How are you?
Beautiful.
Why do you want this?
Consumerism.
What do you get out of it?
Dicks.
How did you hear about this job?
Explorers.
Which ones?
Internet. No, wait, what?
Fine, we never use those letters anyway.
Yeah.
Oxford Dictionary just lost it. It's about pages.
French.
What were their names?
Garçon.
How is he?
Hilarious.
I always thought so. What was his favourite joke?
In a restaurant, I got served a blindfolded horse. I asked, "What is this?" The waiter said, "Oh, you asked for your dessert." No. I had mascarpone.
Do you think it's a good joke?
Jumping Jehoshaphat, yes.
Can you start immediately?
Okay.
Excellent, welcome aboard.
Well, there we go. New staff taken on. I'm going to give points to Dan and Sam.
Yes.
Hooray!
Thank you.
Hooray. No, I feel I must. Yeah, I'm afraid not knowing your alphabet.
They're all the same letter. They all look the same.
But that brings us to the end of the episode. Tonight's winners, Dan and John.
Yes.
Woo!
Well
For all
done.
their hard work, and trailing behind, Sam and Brendan, for hardly working. It only remains for me to thank Sam, John, Brendan and Dan. I thank you, the audience, for listening but not interrupting. I'm still Mark Wilkinson. This has been Little Imps. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Little Imps, hosted by Mark Wilkinson and starring Brendan Way and Dan Luxton, with Jonathan Hoy and Sam Pashby. Little Imps was written and devised by Dan Luxton with additional material from the rest of the cast, and was recorded at the University of Winchester by Talking Tosh Productions.
It only remains... No, it doesn't, because I've run out of paper.